I'm Liz Carney, and I'm the owner of Grand Bay Marine, and we have locations in Traverse City and Charlevoix. We opened in 1997, almost 25 years ago, down the street in Traverse City in a tiny little building. That building was also shared with a meat packer, so we sold boats out of a little meat packing business. We had no showroom, no place to show boats other than outside on the grass. But we were successful, and we were able to sell quite a few boats, and that led to us needing a bigger facility. A few years later, we purchased the location that we're in currently, and although it was a great move with more space, more parking lot, and a bigger building, it still only allowed us to put 2 boats inside for display. We looked at adding on, and of course the cost back then were pretty exorbitant to try to justify the expense of adding on to an old building. There weren't too many builders in our local area that would even consider a project like this, and primarily because the building that we're in is super old, and to do what we wanted to do to add on to it was just a crazy task, to tie in roof lines and try to figure out, how do we make this bigger and yet give us the specifics that we were looking for. We were looking for, for room to expand our service area, our service shop. We desperately needed more service bays. We needed a fiberglass room, and we also wanted to be able to display a lot of boats, more than 2, inside, indoors. So we were referred to Fed through someone locally, and we contacted them. And Brock was the person that I was referred to, and right from the get-go, Brock and his team, they were very responsive, they had great follow-up, and they were genuinely interested in our project. It took me a long time to decide that we were gonna bite the bullet and proceed with Fed. One of the things that Fed did that we didn't have the opportunity to do with any other builders was go to their offices. Their offices are in Gladwin, and we went there, and their design team actually showed us what our showroom could look like. They laid out boats in a virtual showroom for us that was to spec. They laid everything out. I'm not a visual person. I've never built anything in my life, nor do I ever want to build anything in my life, so I was so nervous. I had no concept of what building anything would look like. And seeing it virtually and seeing what things would look like in their office away from our showroom was huge. We got to meet a lot of their inside people, and we became even more comfortable with our decision and with their team. If I think back at this project, specifically, our expansion of our main location, if there's anything I would have done differently is I would have done the expansion earlier. It took me probably 2 or 3 years to really commit, and maybe longer than that because of the money, right? We started this business from scratch, and it's very important to me to be a good steward and be a steward to the families that have committed their lives to Grand Bay Marine to take care of so many customers. And so, but I would have done it sooner had I known what the effect was going to be and the effect for our customers and our overall team. I would highly recommend Fed for any project. I've contracted them for a second project, and I did interview and I did look at other builders. But what you get with Fed is you get that commitment. When they start your project, they are on your project. It's not a start and then have intermittent breaks. They are on it. And then the second project's been really challenging with the pandemic. Supplies and vendor issues, they have plagued the builders and the contractors, but we've had great communication, and we're just thrilled with the outcome. So I would recommend Fed and Brock for any project that you're interested in taking on.